Ladies and gentlemen, there is one truth in life that many people ignore, yet it determines the course of their destiny. You are either growing or you are dying. There is no middle ground. Everything that is alive must grow. A tree, if it stops growing, begins to decay. A vision, if it stops expanding, starts fading. A mind, if it stops learning, becomes dull. Growth is not an event. It is a daily commitment to becoming more than you were yesterday. Many people desire success, but they fail to understand that success is not something you chase. It is something you attract by becoming the right person. If you focus on growing yourself every day, success, opportunities, and influence will come looking for you. Growth is not an accident. It is a deliberate and intentional process. No one stumbles into greatness. No one wakes up one morning full of wisdom, strength, and success without having gone through a process of growth, and that process requires discipline. Without discipline, talent remains undeveloped, potential stays buried, and dreams never become reality. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It is the price you must pay for growth, and without it you will remain stagnant, no matter how gifted or ambitious you are. Discipline is the ability to do what is necessary even when you don't feel like it. Many people fail to grow because they live by their emotions instead of principles. They work hard only when they feel inspired. They pursue their dreams only when they are in the mood, and they make commitments only to break them when things get tough. But true growth requires consistency. And consistency is only possible through discipline. The most successful people in life are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They are simply the ones who remain committed to their growth, regardless of how they feel. Every tree that bears fruit must go through seasons of watering, pruning, and cultivation. The same is true for you. If you desire to grow, you must be willing to go through the process of discipline. That means showing up every day, doing the work, making the sacrifices, and staying committed even when you see no immediate results. Growth is a slow process, but discipline ensures that you do not give up along the way. The reason so many people never reach their full potential is not because they lack the ability, but because they lack the discipline to stay the course. Discipline is what separates dreamers from achievers. Many people have great ideas, but very few have the discipline to execute them. It is one thing to start, but another thing to finish. The world is filled with unfinished projects, abandoned dreams, and unrealized potential, all because of a lack of discipline. The person who wakes up early every morning to read, study, and sharpen their skills will always outperform the one who waits for motivation to strike. Growth does not happen in a single moment of inspiration. It happens in the daily grind of disciplined effort. There are many who desire to be leaders, but leadership requires discipline. You cannot lead others if you have not first mastered yourself. Leadership is not about titles or positions. It is about influence, and influence comes from discipline. The greatest leaders are those who discipline themselves to think differently, act with integrity, and develop habits that set them apart. They do not wait for someone to push them. They push themselves. They do not need external motivation. They are driven by an internal commitment to growth. One of the greatest enemies of growth is distraction. We live in a world filled with distractions that pull us away from our purpose. Social media, entertainment, and meaningless activities consume the time and energy that should be invested in personal development. Discipline is the ability to say no to distractions and yes to growth. It is the ability to prioritize what truly matters over what is convenient or enjoyable in the moment. Many people fail not because they lack potential, but because they allow distractions to rob them of their focus. Growth requires a disciplined mind that is fixed on a clear goal, refusing to be swayed by every passing trend or temptation. There will be days when discipline feels difficult. There will be times when you want to quit, when the process feels too slow, and when the sacrifices seem too great. But those are the moments that determine whether you will rise or remain the same. Growth is not for the weak-hearted. It is for those who are willing to endure discomfort, push past their limitations, and remain committed even when the results are not immediate. Every great achiever has faced moments of doubt and difficulty, but what set them apart was their discipline to keep going. Discipline is also about mastering your habits. Your daily habits determine your future. What you do consistently shapes who you become. If you spend your days in laziness, distractions, and procrastination, you cannot expect to grow. But if you discipline yourself to read, learn, practice, and improve, growth will be inevitable. The secret of success is found in your daily routine. What you do every day matters far more than what you do occasionally. True discipline is not just about working hard. It is about working smart. It is about knowing what to focus on and directing your energy toward what truly matters. Many people work hard but never grow because they are busy with the wrong things. Discipline requires clarity. It demands that you identify what is most important and structure your life around it. It means eliminating unnecessary activities, avoiding time-wasting behaviors, and being intentional about where you invest your efforts. Another key aspect of discipline is accountability. Growth does not happen in isolation. You need people who will challenge you, push you, and hold you accountable to your commitments. Many people fail because they try to do everything alone. But discipline thrives in an environment of accountability. When you have mentors, coaches, or peers who inspire and challenge you, it becomes easier to stay disciplined. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, not those who pull you into complacency. It is important to understand that discipline is not punishment. It is preparation. Many people resist discipline because they see it as a burden, but discipline is a gift. It is the training ground for greatness. Just as an athlete must train daily, even when tired, so must you develop yourself consistently. The discomfort you endure today is the price for the success you will experience tomorrow. If you truly desire to grow, you must make discipline a way of life. It is not something you practice occasionally. It is a lifestyle. Every decision, every action, and every habit should align with your growth. Do not wait for the right conditions to begin. The best time to start is now. Commit yourself to disciplined growth, and your future will be greater than your past. Growth is not free, it has a price, and that price is sacrifice. Many people desire success, they want to improve their lives, they want to fulfill their potential, but very few are willing to pay the cost. The reality is that nothing great comes without giving up something in return. Every step forward requires leaving something behind. Every level of progress demands that you release something that once seemed comfortable, familiar, or even necessary. If you are not willing to sacrifice, you are not truly ready to grow. Sacrifice means giving up the good to attain the great. It means choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. Too many people are stuck in life because they are unwilling to let go of what is keeping them small. They want growth, but they also want comfort. They want success, but they also want ease. They want to move forward, but they are still holding on to old habits, old mindsets, and old relationships that are weighing them down. The truth is that you cannot take everything with you on the journey to your destiny. Some things must be left behind. One of the greatest sacrifices required for growth is the sacrifice of time. Time is the most valuable resource you have because it can never be recovered. What you do with your time determines who you become. Those who grow are those who discipline themselves to invest their time wisely. Instead of wasting hours on distractions, entertainment, or meaningless activities, they dedicate time to learning, developing skills, and working toward their goals. Growth requires that you trade your time for something that adds value to your future. If you are not willing to sacrifice your time for self-improvement, you will remain the same. Another sacrifice that growth demands is the sacrifice of comfort. The human mind naturally seeks comfort, safety, and familiarity, but nothing great ever comes from a place of ease. Growth happens when you step out of your comfort zone, when you push yourself beyond what feels safe, and when you challenge yourself to do what others are unwilling to do. Every time you choose to take the easy path, you delay your growth. Every time you avoid discomfort, you limit your potential. Those who achieve great things in life are those who embrace discomfort as a necessary part of their journey. Growth also requires the sacrifice of relationships. Not every person in your life is meant to go where you are going. Some people will hold you back, discourage you, or fill your mind with negativity. If you want to grow, you must be willing to separate yourself from relationships that do not support your vision. This does not mean treating people harshly, but it does mean making intentional decisions about who you allow to influence your mind and your actions. If the people around you are not challenging you to grow, you may need to distance yourself and surround yourself with those who inspire and push you forward. Mindset is another area where sacrifice is necessary. The way you think determines the way you live. Many people are stuck because they refuse to let go of limiting beliefs, negative thinking, or a victim mentality. Growth requires that you sacrifice your old ways of thinking and adopt new perspectives that align with your goals. It requires that you replace fear with faith, doubt with confidence, and excuses with action. The battle for growth is fought and won in the mind. If you are not willing to sacrifice destructive thoughts, you will never rise to your full potential. One of the hardest sacrifices to make is letting go of bad habits. Habits shape your life, and if you have habits that are not serving your growth, you must be willing to give them up. Whether it is procrastination, laziness, overindulgence, or negative self-talk, every habit that does not contribute to your development is a weight that slows you down. The challenge is that bad habits are often comfortable. They provide temporary pleasure, but they rob you of long-term success. If you truly want to grow, you must sacrifice these habits and replace them with disciplines that will move you forward. Growth also requires the sacrifice of relationships. Not every person in your life is meant to go where you are going. Some people will hold you back, discourage you, or fill your mind with negativity. If you want to grow, you must be willing to separate yourself from relationships that do not support your vision. This does not mean treating people harshly, but it does mean making intentional decisions about who you allow to influence your mind and your actions. If the people around you are not challenging you to grow, you may need to distance yourself and surround yourself with those who inspire and push you forward. Mindset is another area where sacrifice is necessary. The way you think determines the way you live. Many people are stuck because they refuse to let go of limiting beliefs, negative thinking, or a victim mentality. Growth requires that you sacrifice your old ways of thinking and adopt new perspectives that align with your goals. It requires that you replace fear with faith, doubt with confidence, and excuses with action. The battle for growth is fought and won in the mind. If you are not willing to sacrifice destructive thoughts, you will never rise to your full potential. One of the hardest sacrifices to make is letting go of bad habits. Habits shape your life, and if you have habits that are not serving your growth, you must be willing to give them up. Whether it is procrastination, laziness, overindulgence, or negative self-talk, every habit that does not contribute to your development is a weight that slows you down. The challenge is that bad habits are often comfortable. They provide temporary pleasure, but they rob you of long-term success. If you truly want to grow, you must sacrifice these habits and replace them with disciplines that will move you forward. Growth also demands the sacrifice of excuses. Many people have the potential to achieve great things, but they remain stuck because they constantly make excuses. They blame their past, their environment, their lack of resources, or the people around them for their lack of progress. But those who grow are those who take responsibility for their lives. They do not waste time making excuses. They focus on finding solutions. Sacrificing excuses means accepting that your future is in your hands. It means refusing to let obstacles define you and choosing to push forward no matter what. Another area where sacrifice is required is in the willingness to face failure. Many people avoid taking risks because they are afraid of failing. They stay in their comfort zones, never trying anything new because they do not want to experience disappointment. But failure is a necessary part of growth. Every successful person has failed multiple times before reaching greatness. If you want to grow, you must be willing to sacrifice your fear of failure and embrace challenges as opportunities to learn. Growth comes through experience, and experience comes from both success and failure. The journey of growth also requires the sacrifice of immediate gratification. In today's world, people want quick results. They want to be successful overnight. They want to achieve great things without putting in the necessary work. But real growth does not happen instantly. It takes time, effort, and persistence. Those who achieve true success are those who are willing to delay gratification. They are willing to put in the work today for the rewards of tomorrow. They understand that shortcuts lead to temporary results, but sacrifice leads to lasting transformation. In order to grow, you must also sacrifice the need for approval. Many people never reach their full potential because they are too concerned with what others think. They fear judgment, criticism, or rejection, so they hold back from pursuing their dreams. But growth requires courage. It requires the willingness to stand alone if necessary, to make decisions that others may not understand, and to focus on your purpose rather than seeking validation. If you live for the approval of people, you will never fully grow into the person you were meant to be. One of the greatest sacrifices you will have to make on the journey of growth is the sacrifice of your old self. Every version of you has an expiration date. Who you are today is not capable of handling the success that awaits you tomorrow. You must be willing to shed the old version of yourself in order to step into the person you are meant to become. This means letting go of who you used to be, embracing change, and allowing yourself to evolve. Growth is a process of transformation, and transformation requires letting go. When you look at the lives of those who have achieved greatness, you will see a common pattern of sacrifice. Athletes sacrifice leisure time to train. Entrepreneurs sacrifice financial security to build businesses. Leaders sacrifice comfort to take on responsibilities. Every great achievement is the result of sacrifices made along the way. The question is, are you willing to make those sacrifices for your own growth? Sacrifice is not easy. It requires discipline, commitment, and resilience. But the rewards of growth far outweigh the cost. When you are willing to give up what is holding you back, you open the door to new opportunities, greater wisdom, and higher levels of success. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the rewards of growth are permanent. The choice is yours. You can hold on to comfort, convenience, and familiarity, or you can sacrifice them for something greater. You can remain the same, or you can embrace the challenges of growth. But remember this, nothing worth having comes without a price. If you want to grow, you must be willing to pay the price of sacrifice. Growth is impossible without vision. Vision is the ability to see beyond where you are, to imagine a future that is greater than your present, and to move toward it with purpose. Without vision, growth has no direction, no purpose, and no motivation. A person without vision remains stuck, wandering through life without progress. Vision gives meaning to the process of growth because it defines where you are going and what you are striving to become. Vision is not about what is seen with the eyes. It is about what is conceived in the mind and believed in the heart. Many people look at their current circumstances and allow their environment to dictate their potential. They assume that because they are struggling today, they will always struggle. They assume that because they lack resources now, they will always lack resources. But true vision is the ability to see beyond limitations and recognize the potential for something greater. Growth begins the moment a person sees beyond where they are and believes in what is possible. People who lack vision remain in cycles of stagnation. They repeat the same habits, make the same choices, and live the same way year after year because they have no clear direction. Vision is what breaks the cycle and pushes a person to grow. When a person catches a vision of what their life could be, they become restless with where they are. They begin to desire more, to seek more, and to push beyond the limits that once held them back. Growth is fueled by vision because vision creates a hunger for progress. One of the greatest challenges in life is to see beyond temporary struggles. Difficulties, setbacks, and obstacles can cloud vision if a person is not careful. Many people lose sight of their potential because they become too focused on their current hardships. They allow failures to define them and disappointments to discourage them. But those who grow are those who hold on to vision, even in difficult times. They refuse to let circumstances determine their future. Instead, they use their challenges as motivation to push forward. Vision is what separates those who succeed from those who remain average. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the most talented, the most educated, or the most privileged. They are simply the ones who had a clear vision of where they wanted to go and were willing to grow into the person required to get there. Vision gives direction, and direction leads to intentional growth. Without vision, growth has no focus. A person without vision may work hard, but their efforts will be scattered without a clear purpose or end goal. A powerful vision is specific and personal. It is not enough to simply want to be successful, wealthy, or influential. True vision defines what success looks like for you. It gives clarity to your purpose and helps you prioritize your growth. When a person has a clear vision, they know what skills to develop, what habits to form, and what sacrifices to make. Without vision, Personal growth becomes random and inconsistent. People may work on different areas of their life, but without a unifying purpose, their efforts do not lead to lasting change. Vision also creates discipline. When a person truly sees where they want to go, they become more willing to endure the challenges of growth. They understand that every sacrifice, every hardship, and every lesson learned is a step toward their vision. This understanding gives them the patience and perseverance needed to stay committed. Without vision, growth feels like a burden. But with vision, growth becomes an exciting journey toward a meaningful goal. Growth requires stepping outside of the familiar, and this can be uncomfortable. Many people fear change because they do not have a clear vision of what lies ahead. They remain in jobs they do not enjoy, relationships that do not help them grow, and environments that do not challenge them simply because they are afraid of the unknown. But those with vision are willing to take risks because they have already seen their future in their minds. They are not afraid to leave the past behind because they are too focused on what lies ahead. One of the most important aspects of vision is that it must be constantly renewed. A vision that is not nurtured will fade. Many people start their journey with great dreams, but over time, they allow distractions, challenges, and doubts to weaken their vision. To continue growing, a person must constantly remind themselves of their vision. They must visualize their future, speak about it, write it down, and surround themselves with things that reinforce it. Vision must be kept alive because it is the fuel that keeps growth moving forward. Vision is also contagious. When a person has a clear and compelling vision, they naturally inspire others. People who grow often become leaders, not because they seek leadership, but because their vision is so strong that others are drawn to it. A strong vision attracts the right people, the right opportunities, and the right resources. It creates momentum, and momentum accelerates growth. One of the most common reasons people fail to grow is because they do not take the time to define their vision. They move through life reacting to circumstances instead of creating the future they desire. But those who take the time to sit down, reflect, and define a clear vision for their life set themselves on a path of continuous growth. They become intentional about their actions, strategic about their decisions, and purposeful about their personal development. Having a vision also helps a person measure their growth. Without vision, it is difficult to know whether progress is being made. Growth without a goal can feel meaningless, leading to frustration and discouragement. But when a person has a vision, they can track their progress and celebrate their milestones. Each step forward becomes a confirmation that they are moving in the right direction. Many people never reach their full potential simply because they never see themselves as capable of more. Their lack of vision keeps them small. They settle for mediocrity because they have never taken the time to imagine a greater version of themselves. But the moment a person catches a vision of their true potential, everything changes. They begin to act differently, think differently, and make decisions that align with their vision. Vision also requires faith. The greatest visions are those that seem impossible in the beginning. Growth requires believing in what is not yet visible, trusting that the process will lead to results. Many people abandon their vision because they do not see immediate progress. But true visionaries understand that growth is a journey. They are willing to take small steps, endure challenges, and keep moving forward even when progress seems slow. A powerful vision is one that extends beyond personal success. The most impactful people are those whose vision is not just about themselves, but about making a difference in the lives of others. When a person's vision includes serving others, helping communities, or changing the world, their growth becomes even more meaningful. Growth fueled by a greater purpose has the power to create lasting impact. The most important thing to understand about vision is that it must be bigger than current limitations. If a vision is small, growth will be small. If a vision is weak, motivation will be weak. But when a person allows themselves to dream big, to see beyond their current reality, and to imagine possibilities that seem beyond reach, they position themselves for true transformation. Vision determines how far a person can go. The greater the vision, the greater the growth. No one can grow beyond what they see for themselves. A person who envisions a small future will grow only to fit that vision. A person who envisions greatness will push themselves to become great. Vision sets the standard for growth. It defines what is possible, what is worth pursuing, and what sacrifices are necessary. The most important question anyone can ask themselves is this: what do I see? Because what you see determines what you will become. Growth is a lifelong process. It is not something that happens once and is completed. Rather, it is a continuous journey that never truly ends. Every stage of life presents new opportunities, challenges, and lessons that contribute to personal, professional, and spiritual development. Those who understand that growth never stops position themselves to achieve greater success, fulfillment, and impact throughout their lives. Many people make the mistake of believing that growth has a final destination. They assume that once they achieve a certain level of knowledge, success, or skill, they no longer need to improve. But the reality is that the moment a person stops growing, they begin to decline. Life is always moving forward, and those who refuse to grow get left behind. The world is constantly changing. New knowledge is being discovered and new opportunities are emerging every day. Those who remain committed to growth remain relevant, adaptable, and capable of handling whatever life brings their way. One of the most important aspects of continuous growth is the mindset that embraces learning. Those who recognize that growth never stops understand that there is always something new to learn. No matter how much experience a person has, there is always a higher level of mastery to reach. No matter how much wisdom a person has gained, there is always deeper insight to discover. The moment a person believes they know everything is the moment they begin to limit their own potential. Lifelong learners stay curious, open-minded, and eager to expand their knowledge. Growth is not just about gaining new information, it is also about refining character. Personal growth involves becoming a better version of oneself every day. This means improving patience, kindness, self-discipline, and resilience. A person may develop skills and achieve success, but if they do not continue to grow in character, their success will not be sustainable. Life constantly presents situations that test character, and those who commit to personal growth become stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling challenges with grace and wisdom. Another key aspect of growth is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and those who are unwilling to grow find themselves struggling to keep up with change. The ability to adapt requires a mindset that is flexible and willing to embrace new experiences, perspectives, and ways of thinking. Those who resist change remain stagnant, but those who embrace growth find ways to turn challenges into opportunities. The world is filled with stories of individuals who faced setbacks but used them as a stepping stone to greater success because they were willing to grow through the experience. Growth also applies to relationships. Human interactions are dynamic, and relationships require continuous growth to remain strong and healthy. Whether in friendships, family connections, or professional relationships, those who invest in understanding, communication, and emotional intelligence experience deeper and more meaningful connections. Relationships suffer when people refuse to grow, but they thrive when individuals commit to becoming better communicators, listeners, and supporters. Another area where growth never stops is in skills and talents. Many people assume that once they reach a certain level of expertise, they no longer need to improve. However, even the most talented professionals, artists, and athletes continue to refine their craft. Growth is what separates those who achieve lasting excellence from those who fade into mediocrity. Mastery is not a destination. It is an ongoing process of improvement and refinement. Those who continue to develop their skills remain at the top of their field, while those who stop growing quickly become outdated. The journey of growth also involves expanding one's vision. As a person grows, their goals and aspirations evolve. What once seemed impossible may become achievable, and new dreams may emerge. Those who commit to lifelong growth never settle for past achievements. They continue to set new challenges, reach for higher levels of success, and expand their influence. Growth is what allows a person to move from one level of success to the next, always striving for greater impact. An essential part of continuous growth is learning from failure. Many people fear failure, but those who embrace growth see failure as a learning opportunity. Every mistake, setback, and disappointment carries valuable lessons that contribute to personal development. Those who are committed to growth analyze their failures, make necessary adjustments, and use the experience to become better. They understand that failure is not an end but a stepping stone to greater success. Growth also requires stepping out of comfort zones. Many people resist growth because it often requires discomfort. However, true progress happens outside of familiarity. Those who embrace growth understand that challenges, risks, and new experiences are necessary for development. They push themselves beyond limitations, take on new responsibilities, and embrace opportunities that stretch their abilities. The most successful individuals are those who constantly challenge themselves to grow beyond their current capabilities. Another important aspect of continuous growth is self-awareness. Those who are committed to lifelong development regularly reflect on their strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. They seek feedback, analyze their actions, and make intentional efforts to improve. Self-awareness allows a person to recognize patterns of behavior that may be holding them back and make necessary adjustments. Those who lack self-awareness often repeat the same mistakes, but those who embrace growth learn from every experience. Spiritual growth is another area that never stops. Regardless of a person's beliefs, there is always room for deeper understanding, greater wisdom, and a stronger connection to purpose. Many people find that as they grow in their spiritual life, they gain greater clarity, peace, and fulfillment. Spiritual growth involves seeking truth, developing faith, and living with purpose. It requires ongoing reflection, learning, and the willingness to align one's actions with higher values. Another crucial element of lifelong growth is emotional growth. Many people struggle in life because they do not develop emotional intelligence. They react to situations impulsively, allow emotions to control their decisions, and struggle to handle stress effectively. Those who commit to emotional growth learn to manage their emotions, handle conflict with wisdom, and maintain inner peace even in difficult circumstances. Emotional growth allows a person to navigate life's ups and downs with stability and confidence. Growth is also essential for leadership. Those who lead others must continuously grow in their ability to inspire, guide, and influence. A leader who stops growing becomes ineffective. Whether in business, family, or community roles, leadership requires ongoing development. The best leaders are those who remain students of life, always seeking new knowledge, refining their communication skills, and growing in wisdom. Leadership is not about a title. It is about continuous personal development that allows one to positively impact others. Physical growth is another important aspect of life. The body requires care, maintenance, and improvement. Health is not something that can be achieved once and then ignored. Those who stop taking care of their bodies experience decline, while those who commit to lifelong health see improvements in energy, strength, and longevity. Growth in this area requires discipline, consistency, and the willingness to make choices that support overall well-being. One of the most powerful aspects of growth is its ability to inspire others. Those who commit to personal growth set an example for those around them. When people see someone consistently improving, learning, and striving for excellence, they are inspired to do the same. Growth is not just about individual success, it is about creating a ripple effect that encourages others to pursue their own development. The greatest impact a person can have is to live a life of continuous growth that motivates others to do the same. The most successful and fulfilled individuals in history are those who understood that growth never stops. They never settled for past achievements, never allowed setbacks to define them, and never stopped learning. They remained students of life, constantly improving, adapting, and striving for more. Growth is the key to unlocking potential, achieving greatness, and living a life of purpose. Every person has the ability to grow, but the decision to do so is personal. Growth requires intentional effort, the willingness to embrace change, and the commitment to continuous learning. Those who choose to grow set themselves on a path of endless possibilities. Life rewards those who refuse to remain stagnant and who understand that there is always more to learn, more to achieve, and more to become.